Hey, today I wanted to talk about Khloé Kardashian's natal chart. Uh, I'm sure most of y'all know who Khloé Kardashian is. Yep. So Khloé has been in the news lately. Her boyfriend Tristan Thompson cheated on her with her little sister's best friend. And Khloé has notoriously over the years not done well with love and picking men and so I pulled up her chart. I wanted to see, what was going on and why this was. So this is Khloé's chart. I don't know if y'all can see that. The first thing I noticed about Khloé's chart was all the oppositions, and that's the red lines here going across. So Khloé has 5 oppositions. That's a lot. So oppositions come about, that's when two energies are coming together and forming a stress and a sort of tension. And depending on what these energies are, they might actually be good things. But Khloé has 5. So she's got a Moon-Neptune opposition. She has a Sun-Neptune opposition, a Sun-Jupiter opposition, Venus-Jupiter, and Mercury-Jupiter oppositions. So, we're going to talk about those oppositions today and then also, what leads her to those bad boys. The first opposition I wanted to talk about was the Moon-Neptune opposition. With the Moon-Neptune opposition, this opposition can expand your emotions. You tend to see things in an unrealistic way. So if something slightly bad happens, you see it as very bad. If something slightly good happens, you see it as very good. It takes those emotions and then adds Neptune to it, and it expands it in an unrealistic way. It's perfect for reality TV, a little bit difficult for love and close relationships. So Khloé can see someone smile and think, oh my gosh, she's totally in love with me. This is great and wonderful. And she can also, have someone not hear what she says and all of a sudden think, oh my gosh, they absolutely hate me. This is not what I want. This is not okay. That's exhausting. So, like I said, good for reality TV, not necessarily fun in real life, but when you're aware of this, it's easier to deal with it. Also, she's got a Sun-Neptune opposition, and this can make her very sensitive, emotionally sensitive to the people around her. So just intuitive, really, when you can kind of feel what people are thinking and feeling. Some people call it empathic, but the Sun opposition Neptune gives that ability and also creates a little bit of some insecurities and inferiority complexes as well. So that's the Sun-Neptune opposition that is in Khloé's chart. She also has the Sun opposite Jupiter. And this can, once again, good stuff for reality TV. It can bring about an overly inflated or easily inflated ego. And, Khloé's out there. She's making a name for herself. She's earning money. So, she's earned some of that. Once again, this is great for TV. And the opposition can bring about some extreme highs and extreme lows. So there are times when she can feel very good about herself, and then times when she can feel very low. And, so this, we see some of this on Keeping Up with the Kardashians, but, so that's her Sun opposite Jupiter. And then, Venus opposite Jupiter is also in her chart. So, I really don't consider this one a total negative. Venus opposite Jupiter gives, good looks and a happy, loving personality. Who doesn't want that? However, there's a struggle with boundaries, and it's really hard to say no when you have Venus opposite Jupiter. We've seen Khloé struggle with that as well. It's hard to say no in romantic relationships and business relationships. And one thing that Khloé does right, being your own boss is the best way to deal with a Venus Jupiter opposition. Otherwise, it's easy to be taken advantage of by controlling individuals and people who don't necessarily want the best for you, because you are bubbly and happy, and you want things to be good. And when it's hard to say no, you need to be the boss. And so the fifth and final opposition she has is Mercury opposite Jupiter, and I don't really consider this to be a bad opposition either. This allows for her to have a wide open mind. So she's open to new ideas, new things to do. This provides for a lot of networking and success in networking and meeting people, and also allows for big opportunities and leaps in success. And, she is one of the more successful Kardashians. Not that any of them are unsuccessful, but, she's right on up there. This position's not very good with fine print, though. It's not very good for details. So, Khloé needs to keep her accountant and her attorney on speed dial for just those moments. But this is not necessarily a negative opposition. I also wanted to look at the houses that these tensions were in. So these oppositions are in the 4th house. They cover the 4th, the 5th, the 10th, and the 11th houses in her chart. So I don't know if y'all can see that, the light. So Khloé's moon is in the 4th house, and this, I think it's a wonderful placement. This, the moon represents your emotions, how you deal with the emotions and everything. And the 4th house is about family. It's about roots. And, the moon a lot of times can also represent the mother. And so this is showing that Khloé's mom is loving and concerned and has good intentions for Khloé, which, we can see that play out on the show. Kris Jenner, may not be the best with boundaries, but she loves and cares for her kids. And, I do, I watch the show occasionally, and every time I do, she may mess up here and there, but I think she's coming from a good place. And this moon in the 4th house definitely shows that. And Khloé's moon is in Gemini, which is a thinking sign. Geminis have to constantly have that mental stimulation going back and forth. They don't necessarily get lost in their emotions. And we can see that Kris Jenner, she's a smart woman, and she's, she knows her strategies, and she knows her stuff, and she gets in there. So that's definitely a description of Khloé's mom, Kris. And also, when you have moon in the 4th house, it shows that you had a supportive and loving upbringing, and that you want a supportive and loving family as an adult. That's something you strive for, and a lot of times if you can't find it in your actual family, you see people with this placement will make a family of friends and neighbors, and enlarge their family that way, getting the emotions in that 4th house. The next, Khloé's Sun, Venus, and Mercury are all in Cancer. Cancer is a very emotional, mothering sign, very much go-getters. They're a cardinal sign. And the 5th house is the house of playing, children, dating, casual sex, passions, and she's got 3 planets in there. And so this is an area that she does very well in. And, Khloé's a lot of fun. You can see her. She's always out and about. So people with this many positive planets in the 5th house don't just enjoy playing. They need to play. That's how they refresh themselves. That's how they re-energize. Not everybody's built that way, but people with planets in the 5th house, positive planets, definitely are. And with her sun there, Khloé needs to play and, date, spend time with children, casual sex, all this stuff energizes her. And that's stuff that's important to her and stuff that she definitely needs to do. Venus in the 5th house can bring a lot of admirers and bring her a lot of attraction from people as well. And, Khloé's beautiful. She's very successful. Those two things alone can bring this, but even more so with her Venus in the fifth house and also in Cancer. But with these being in Cancer, one of the things that Khloé's kind of got to watch out for, Cancer is so emotional and can get so attached to things that when she does go and have casual sex and things like that, she is more likely to get attached than some other sign placements, Gemini, for example. And then Mercury in her fifth house also means that Khloé enjoys talking a lot. She would not be the person in a relationship to just sit there quietly on the sofa. She would need that interaction. And, people are different. Everybody needs something, and this is something, being able to joke around and talk a lot. That's something Khloé needs in her interactions, in her relationships, and dating. She also enjoys spending time with children as well, and that's what the Venus and the Mercury in the fifth house can show. And just interestingly enough, some ancient sources actually say the number of planets in your fifth house indicate the minimum number of children that a person is going to have. So, according to her natal chart, she's going to have at least 2 more little babies. So, I hope that happens for Khloé. Now, you've probably started to see some things going on with Khloé's chart that could attract jerks and everything. Definitely the oppositions, the struggle with boundaries, just attracting a lot of attention. Those two things alone. But where is her chart again? So the reason, but I wanted to talk today about the cheating and how she's had multiple partners cheat on her. And that's a struggle for her. So I'm going to hold the chart up again. We've got all these oppositions that we just talked about, and they have friendly connections with her Saturn, Mars, Saturn, and Pluto in the 8th house. So that is what we're going to talk about next, because that is what brings those men in. So that's what she's attracted to. Saturn, Pluto, and Mars are known as the malefic planets. So they bring a sort of negativity in. And the 8th house is the house of other people's money, deep emotional sex, and mysteries. And so a lot of times when there are planets there, the chart person can have struggles with hard drugs, and they can have struggles with cheating. Saturn's the planet of restriction and structure, and when it's combined with Pluto, the planet of intensity and change, and also with Mars, the planet of aggression and ambition, these combinations can definitely bring about some characters who are looking to use you and not be faithful to you, and to have negative intentions for you. And they may start out Saturn with high standards and wanting to do the right thing, and Pluto having that obsession, but something's going to happen and something's going to present itself, and in that instant, they are going to cheat on you, they are going to hurt you, there's going to be some sort of abuse there. And unfortunately we have seen that in Khloé time and time again, and my heart just hurts for her, because she is my favorite Kardashian, and I know she's really kind of going through it right now. And I forgot one of the benefits of this. These are friendly connections. So it's showing that she is going to get cheated on, but there will be some sort of benefit from it. And of course, we're talking about that today. She's getting more attention from it. This is expanding her empire. At least something good's coming from it, but it's not fun going through this. But she does benefit from it in some way. And, I hope the best for her growing up. This is, these are lessons. You learn them and you go through them over and over again. And eventually you've learned the lesson and you've passed the test and you don't have to do this anymore. And so I'm, hoping she's towards the end of this test, because this is a really hard road to toe. So let me know what your feedback is. Please leave comments, down below. If you have any questions, if you want me to go back over anything. I tried not to make this video as long as the last one, but anyways, Khloé, think you're wonderful. Thanks y'all for watching.